Hey, what's up everybody, Desmo here. About 10 hours ago we had some news on Twitter from GGG about some skills and items for PoE2, so let's review the informations. We have Ball Lightning here, with all the information about the skill. We have Archmage and a new support which is Wildshards. So I brought the current version in PoE1 of Ball Lightning and of Archmage to see the difference between PoE1 and PoE2. So as we can see here, Ball Lightning is level 11 and has a flat damage from 1 to 19 lightning damage and hits enemies in range every 0.2 seconds. Also 750 more chance to shock and fire beams at a target within 1.8 meters. So the 1.8 meters and the hits enemy in range is the same as in PoE1, but the flat damage is extremely lower. As you can see here, lightning damage for a gem level 11 is 12 to 219, so the difference is absolutely enormous. We will make some conclusion about that at the end of the video, but this is the first big change for Ball Lightning. So maybe the flat damage is going to scale much higher for the late part of the leveling of the skill, but as far as we can see, this is a pretty big nerf for Ball Lightning. And it is quite similar for Archmage. They changed the way it works. So this is the full description for Archmage in PoE1. Supported skills gain added lightning damage equal to 10 to 19% of unreserved mana, maximum mana. And supported skills have added mana cost equal to 5% of unreserved maximum mana. So the second part of the description is the same in PoE2, but this is the first part that did change a lot. You can see that the Archmage is a buff, so basically it's an aura. And at level 14, this is 16% of mana as extra lightning damage. And the big change here is that it's now spells gain 5% of damage as lightning damage for each 100 maximum mana you have. So the new Archmage says spells gain 5% of damage as lightning damage for each 100 maximum mana you have. So we can see that there is the disparation of the reserve part of the skill description. This is your total amount of mana because we don't have reservation anymore, we have spirit. But it seems to be a pretty big nerf to Archmage because it's now the damage that we gain is based on the damage that we have on our skill. It's 5% of damage as lightning. Gain 5% of damage as lightning. So if I understand it correctly, the added bonus from the support, which is not a support now, it's a buff. And by the way, the reservation is 100 spirits, so it's quite a lot of spirit that we need to use for Archmage. But the fact that it's based on the damage and not calculation from the mana entirely, like it's 5% per 100 maximum mana, so it could be quite a lot, but I think it's a little bit less good than what we had before. This is my interpretation so far of the skill. We probably need for like anything else to see how it goes in game. But I think this is a little bit of a nerf on that part. And the last one, Wildshards. The support description is supported skills have 20% chance to fire 8 additional projectiles in a circle. So there's two things here. If you compare Wildshards to greater additional projectiles, which is a PoE1 support, it's less effective in terms of projectiles, but you don't have the damage penalty because a lesser, greater, and awakened greater projectiles, they give you like a 40% or something less damage penalty. So here you don't have the penalty, but 8 additional projectile with 20% chance. So it's every 5 cast you're gonna have 8 additional projectiles which are going to fire in a circle. So on average, it's 1.6 additional projectile per cast. So with greater multiplier projectile, it's 5 additional projectile, but again with less damage. So this one is a bit less effective in terms of quite a lot less actually effective in terms of projectile, but you have also the mechanic of projectile fire in a circle, so that is a good thing, and you don't have the less damage. So I think this is a very interesting support, which will probably be used a lot by different kind of builds. Yeah, there's the spell tag, so it's gonna be only for spells. We will not be able to use that in anything else. And now I want to go to the second part of the video that we had from GGG, and we have the skill Sigil of Power, which was a skill gem actually in PoE1, and it's now bound to a certain type of staff, chiming staff, and the skill didn't change too much, so there's not too much going on here. We just know that it's coming from a staff. But what is really interesting here is to see the staff that provide the skill, because we can see some very good modes on the staff, and it gives us an idea of what we can expect for endgame for this kind of build. And we can see that this is definitely an endgame staff because of the level requirement. 90 is quite high. We didn't see this kind of level requirement in PoE1, but there's no doubt about it. We will not see anything like that before endgame. And we have 26 of damage as extra lightning damage. This is quite a lot. And we have 119 increased spell damage. This is pretty similar to what we can expect in PoE1. Again, the mana, it's pretty much the same as well, 101 to maximum mana. But what is really interesting and actually very powerful is the +5 to level of all lightning spell skills. In PoE1, from staff, we could have, for this exact same kind of mode, up to +3 to level of all certain type of gems. +5 is actually a lot. If we have that for lightning spell skills, I'm pretty sure that we can have the +5 for other type of spell skills, and probably for minions as well. So we can expect to have this kind of stuff, which is really, really strong for minions, but also for spells, the +5, whether it's for cold, lightning, or fire, it's gonna be huge to have a +5 in endgame for sure. So I think we're gonna see maybe more people using staff in endgame, because that was not something that we were seeing too often. So that is really interesting. About the conclusion that I wanted to make about ball lightning is that the flat damage is really, really low, but I think that we might see that ball lightning is going to be used as something to proc stuff, because there is lots of ticks with the balls. If you have lots of projectile, this is going to work very well if you are able to gain a certain amount of stats with your spells, and this is the intention of Archmage. With Archmage, you have so much added damage that the skill itself doesn't matter too much. You want something that hits a lot, that deals a lot of damage in terms of numbers of ticks from your skill, not the damage that it provides itself, because you rely on Archmage to deal damage. So since Archmage is also a lightning spell, we will probably have a very nice interaction endgame with this kind of stuff. So I think this is really interesting, the possibility that it opens, the way things are going to work like that. So this is probably a really good combo for endgame. and we will probably have even more possibilities with the other supports that we will have. So very exciting news. That's it for the video. Take care of yourself and see you on my next video. Bye.